Hello, I'm Steve. A little about myself. I'm a retired law enforcement officer with 20 years of service. I began my career in the jail, worked the road, and became an investigator. During my career, my training consisted of everything from SWAT to becoming a state certified crime scene technician. I've investigated crimes from thefts to homicides. After retiring and becoming aware of true crime and web sleuths, I started my channel for web sleuths to better understand the perspectives of law enforcement. Not only do we cover true crime, I go out into the field and assist families who have lost loved ones to homicide and their cases are considered cold. Join me as we look and bring attention to these critical cases. Hello, everyone. Glad to see y'all. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. And for all the older and longtime supporters of our channel, everybody recognizes the lovely Mrs. Steve. She's with us tonight, and I'm glad that we're able to get together. We are, the other morning I woke up and checking my YouTube channel and saw that I had my 2-year birthday. And so I said, well, and that's from the time that you first log on and start a channel. And of course, my first videos didn't start occurring until May of where I was creating content for my own channel. But looking back and looking at where we were headed with this channel and where we're going and what's happened in these last 2 years and where we're headed this year. This year, there's going to be a lot of major changes and movement with our channel. And that's what we're trying to look into a little bit to tell you where we came from. A lot of people that, as you build a channel and you go from no subscribers up to, I think we're 12,000 plus now. And so as our channel grows, our footprint grows, and our support that allows us to go out and work cold cases, it's all very special. We're all a great team together, and I owe everybody out there that supports this channel by any method, from all the way from the donations, both through the YouTube channel and through the foundation, our 501 nonprofit. We appreciate, because without everyone being a part of this team, we wouldn't be where we're at now and where we're about to head in the next, I guess, 8 months until the end of this year, and can't wait to see what 2025 holds for us. But 2024 is going to be a special year, and I want to thank everybody. And we're going to discuss certain aspects of our YouTube channel and some of the differences of what goes on behind the scenes with the YouTube channel versus what goes on with the foundation as far as the consulting. A lot of people out there and a lot of the families that I consult with and work on their code cases, not all that attention is brought at the beginning of these investigative steps and processes. There's a lot of families out there that can attest to these facts, but and we work extremely hard for these families and try to do everything we can for them. And I absolutely will do everything I can to make sure that they have justice for their families. And we're going to be talking to some of these family members in the coming months. And we have a certain presentations we're going to allow those families, the ones that choose to do so, because there's no requirement from any of these families to pay back praise. We work as hard for the families. If they just want to remain private or have that privacy, absolutely fine. We don't require anything. But some of the families also want to say that, hey, we want to pay it forward. Let your team and your supporters know how grateful we are. And we appreciate that for the fact that it's just one big, large family, a large team that is supported by a lot of people, and we appreciate that. All right. Let's see here. Let me get into the presentation now. All right, here we go. Well, everyone knows about the True Crime Web. And when I first started this channel, I never expected it that we would move out into the cold cases. I first started it for a very specific just creating and trying to become an ambassador for law enforcement and try to allow the people of the web sleuth in the YouTube world a little bit of understanding of how law enforcement in the CSI world looks at a case and how we approach certain things, our thought processes, and not always is it a perfect world within law enforcement. Law enforcement makes mistakes. Been there, done that. And will they continue to make mistakes? Absolutely. But they try to minimize the impact of those decisions. Just like whenever I go out and we create content for the YouTube part of our channel, that I try to minimize as many of the possibilities of any information being wrong or misleading, because we don't want that. We want it to be as accurate and forthcoming as we can as we move through these cases and things. But like I said, we just had a birthday for 2 years, and I think I've had 300. I don't know. I don't even know how many YouTube videos I've created, but they're out there, and we absolutely appreciate it. There's a bunch of them. And regardless of how many YouTube videos are out there, the amount of hours that Mrs. Steve puts into this is far greater than anyone will ever know. And myself, there's a lot of behind the scene hours just in the YouTube part of it, as research and collaboration with other channels and speaking to, and just research independently of that, of trying to go out there and get as good of information or approach something with a certain thought process from a different avenue, a different perspective, so that you have a little bit clearer understanding of how we would analyze. And Mrs. Steve and I, our conversations are quite strange over the dinner table, or even traveling whenever we travel. And that's something that will be coming up in the as we in the coming year or so, as we open up some new paths as far as our channel development and what we're going to be doing. And we'll be getting into that in just a few minutes. But the True Crime Web, like I said, our YouTube channel, it has a lot of videos on it. And without y'all and without what y'all brought to the table as far as awareness, that when we go out there and we bring certain cases to the YouTube channel, sometimes that what we're bringing is part of a strategy that has occurred on the foundation side, as far as making sure that people are starting to understand that there's cases out there. Some of these cases we're working on as far as a co-case angle, but we're trying to bring awareness. We're trying to get where law enforcement may look at it, or we're even searching for a chair, which recently occurred. Actually, I just
that's been fun.
That's been fun. Still working on that chair. That's Mrs. Steve. I've got a carport full of chair parts right now. From one of her chairs, one of her kitchen chairs. That kitchen chair and that recreation will no longer be usable in the old set. But thank Mrs. Steve for allowing that. Poor Mrs. Steve. Nothing gets by me at some point. But then also Mrs. Steve has worked on the Cyclops system and the zone, whereas we have this database of thousands of children across the United States that are teenagers and younger that have gone missing or have been victims of homicides. And so we created this so that families can go in there. She continues to update it, add to, take away. There's a lot of information out there on those. And like I said, I just want to mention some of these things of what we've done in the past and where we're heading in the future. And then, of course, we have the foundation. Now, the foundation part of this, of our channel, is huge. And what it will allow us to do in 2024 is something that probably very few channels have the ability to do. And we hope to be able to have a huge impact. as we speak with these families that we are ready to go out and work on these cases, of course, they will, whenever you look at them and they embrace you and thank you, that because it doesn't cost them anything. They've already paid by their fights for justice and for everything that we can do for them, because we, like I said, we just go out there and spend whatever monies is necessary to investigate. And we've got some new technologies that were coming to the foundation this year. I just got off the phone earlier today with IT, and there's going to be some major developments, and that will put us up there on a new level, and allow us to do certain things that you can't do without my background, and get access. I didn't even know that there were certain apps and things that are only accessible by certain people, and I was surprised by that today. But we're starting the paperwork going down that path to get certain certifications and access to certain apps that will allow us to do things that, like I said, didn't imagine as a YouTube channel would be able to do. But as a foundation and as a co-case unit, we will have that abilities. But this is some of the things as far as the True Crime Web YouTube and the True Crime Web Foundation. The True Crime Web YouTube part of it. And just for clarification, so that everyone out there, if you're new to the channel, or if you're have been around a long time, that the YouTube part of it and everything I've done on collaborated with other channels and work that I've done independently, that I've always tried to be the best ambassador for law enforcement that I could. And then I created a lot of content along those lines. And sometimes I got quite lucky and knocked it out of the park. But that's part of the CSI training and things. And without all that experience over the 20 plus years, and then also having a partner that is extremely intelligent and gives me a perspective that I wouldn't have without her. It does allow. It's all about the eyes. That's her fail safe. No matter what else happens, that I can be asking her anything about an individual, and then instantly it's about the eyes. And it makes me stop and think. And those are in my moments I get to stare at her and I shake my head. That we're talking about something, and all of a sudden it's all about the eyes. And so, whereas she all the time comes at me and after me for some of the things I've done to her car, her residence, her yard, clothes, washing machine, other things. But anyway, the YouTube channel is our public platform, whereas we can reach out there and bring attention to certain cases and use it as part of our strategy on certain ideas, or and create relationships and friends, that without the YouTube channel, that as I travel across the country, I've made some really great friends. I've met people that are extremely knowledgeable. I've been able to create a network of professionals in a lot of different areas that I would not have been able to build that network without our YouTube channel. And I have people across the country that whenever I wish to ask about certain news articles or terrain, that I have all those emails archived where I can go in there and look and speak to these people. It's a huge ability and a huge network that we have. And we like to thank all those people. And that whenever I ask them, hey, can you send me an email? It's absolutely amazing. But through that public platform and through the public access and being able to build that YouTube channel to move us towards that is absolutely huge. And we wish to thank y'all for that. The case awareness, like I said, there's a lot of cases out there that I work, or not a lot, but there's a few really interesting cases that when you look at it and you see all the evidence and the court hearings and certain perspectives of law enforcement or certain perspective from the public um, of looking at how law enforcement investigated, looking at persons of interest, suspects, charges, that through those that I can take that one case and analyze it and make it where it's relatable to other cases and cases that will come in the future and other cases that are mainstream currently, that all you have to do is reapply. And case in point is that with Richard Allen, when that bullet was first, or the unspent round was first discussed, one of the things that took me to the South Carolina, and what was his name?
Stephen Smith.
It was not Stephen Smith.
Murdoch.
The Murdoch case was that they had an expert that was coming to testify on rounds that had been fired through a gun that were found on the property. And so that relationship, I was able to go in and do some work on the Murdoch case, and absolutely with Chris's help on the with the mob crew. It was a huge eye-opening experience of allowing people to see how CSI can rebuild a crime scene, whereas I didn't have the technologies that the current crime scene techs have. But through the old school and old methods, they both came to the same conclusion. And that's the importance of about that. Facts are facts. Doesn't matter if you use old technology or new technologies, you can't change those facts. And that's how come sometimes you can take one piece of a new case or a case that has a certain specific point and apply it to numerous cases. And that's what we do. And that's what I did with the Murdoch case and along with the Richard Allen case. But like I said, that allows us to work with our community and have the interactions and do the CSI reconstructions on YouTube. I know a lot of the people that watch my channel, and they like the CSI reconstruction. I enjoy doing them. It's interesting because when you're recreating these, just like what I'm recreating now on another cold case, even with that chair, you start as you go through and find out each piece of that evidence of what may have occurred during a certain time event and certain moment of a crime, that how did this piece get broken? What does this little defect on this spindle mean? And it's things like that that can be eye-opening and turn your opinion to a whole new angle. And that's why we recreate these crime scenes and use the techniques that we do. Now, as far as the TCW, True Crime Web Foundation, the foundation is it's sort of like if you had any type of industry, say car manufacturer, doesn't matter if it's Ford, Chevrolet, doesn't matter if it's airline industry, all of them have a certain part that is their front is what everyone recognizes, but they don't see the research and development part. That's in the background. There's a lot of things that go on in the background, and that's what the True Crime Web Foundation is. That part of our, I guess, package, when you bring them all together, is that our cold case work is done in that. All the analysis of the cases, not only the analysis that I conduct, but the analysis by other team members and this network of individuals and experts I have that I call upon and try to get opinions of, and we look at these cases for the analysis, and then some of the consulting work. All of it plays a part, guys. There's a lot of hours. This last month in March, I think I drove close to 6,500 miles in March. So I spent a lot of time on the road. If you calculate 60 mile an hour, just on at 60, you're talking about 100 and 10 hours of just driving. So when you look at 40-hour weeks, you're almost close to 3 weeks of just driving time, and which
it
didn't take me 3 weeks, because when I drive, some of those drives were 17 hours
straight.
Stop for fuel only, eat in the car, or didn't even stop to eat. Whatever snacks I had or sandwiches that I ate as I drove, because there's a lot of miles, and I tried to get to these families and try to get to these code cases and put whatever work I can into it and bring as much help to it as I can. But also with the foundation, today I answered several emails as far as the consulting part of it, of when people send me certain informations, and all of that helps develop a plan of action, a strategy, not only for me and what code cases I work, but there's other PIs and there's other people out there that and family members that are part of an investigative team that they have no professional training, but they still want a opinion about what does this image mean. We found this at the scene, or we heard this. What does that mean? And I try to lead them and try to tell them and devise a plan of action if they have certain things, or they have a thought of how they want to assist law enforcement or assist in any way they can to find justice for their loved ones. And we develop that strategy. And like I said, it's all in the background. And also through the foundation, there's a lot of equipment and a lot of apps and technologies that are coming this year. Which way will we go? We're still having meetings. There's several people involved with the board that we discuss certain things, and ultimately is what we as a group decide of which way we're going to go and what route we're going to take, and which will allow the foundation to have a huge impact upon these families, because at the end of the day, that's all that matters, is what impact can that foundation have on these families and these code cases, and whatever equipment that we buy in the apps. The research part of it, there's certain technologies that are coming along. Mrs. Steve and I were discussing earlier today about certain training possibilities. Not that she doesn't have enough on her hands now, but if we move in a certain direction and certain research, and also even with the YouTube channel, Mrs. Steve, we're looking at possibly expanding that, and she having a larger part in that. She's got so much free time. But all the clandestine operations and planning, everything, the cloak and dagger stuff, there's a lot of secretive stuff that goes on. There's security issues that we have to take care of, and we abide by those measures for the fact that, I don't want anyone, as we travel across the country, I take certain risks, but I don't want other people to take certain risks. And there's certain secrecy involved in this as we move. And most of the families can, like I say, they can give you their perspective and their point of view. They understand, they've seen it, and they appreciate everything that we can do for them. And like I said, we couldn't do it without y'all. There's a lot of travel. Like I said, 6,500 miles, close to it this last month. I've got travels that I've got to decide, am I going to go out in April, May, or June? We haven't decided. And there's certain that if we acquire certain equipment, I'm going to be on the road a lot more. If I start going out and become extremely active in the search and rescue part of where we want to go with this, because there is that possibility that we want to take on not only the cold cases, but in between the cold cases, because there is certain times that everything I get relatively caught up. Now, I've got some families that, of course, I've been working on their cases for quite some time, but we have new cases that I've got to get in touch with that are sitting out there. The families have sent me emails requesting. I've sent them that just give me some time to get caught up, and I will get back with you. And that's going to be happening in the next week or two. And at some point, hopefully, we'll get additional assistance on this. But that's in the future. But we also do the CSI reconstruction as far as the foundation work and everything. And not all of that is brought to the table. Some of that is only shared with the families. But at some point, when law enforcement gives us the go ahead and they say, okay, now you don't have to be secretive. And that's a trust that, that's part of what the foundation is. That's part of what I am, that we have to keep those secrets. We don't create content on it. We don't allow it to get out there, and we protect it in every shape, form, or fashion. You can ask a lot of these families; they understand that. And but if and when the law enforcement says yes, now it's done, and the families say yes, we'll bring a lot of that stuff that was behind the scene, the foundation work of the work that is critical for presentations to law enforcement, regardless if it's some of the highest levels or if it's local law enforcement. But anyway, that's pretty much it. We got anything over there?
You do. You have questions outside of this
Okay.
on some cases. Are you good with that?
Oh, sure.
Right. Now, I haven't done this in a minute, so let's see here if I can do this. And Mustang 1965, thank you so much for letting me use my blue light tonight. Look at that.
You left it on.
I did. I couldn't reach it. Gonna have to move that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, this is our mobile
yeah, obviously.
Studio.
I feel like I'm.
Yeah, this is our mobile studio.
Chairs are a little wonky. Everything's a little wonky. Okay. And then D Mead 51063 says, I hope he's not going to say he's not going to do YouTube.
Oh, no. We're going to do YouTube. But there's like I said, there's a lot of things, and there's actually opportunities to do even more YouTube in some of the search and rescue. If we go that route and emergencies pop up and I have the ability to get there, that we may introduce that part of it and go out as we acquire certain equipment. We've talked to some of the main people that are responsible for the donations with the foundation, and we're discussing that now. Is this the route that we want to go? And if you say yes, that's the route we'll go, because we can have an impact on a lot of the search and rescues. We can bring resources and we can bring equipment that is absolutely, that would aid both law enforcement and these families, and bring it to the table, because some of this equipment is quite expensive, and we have the ability and resources to bring that to the table, and that's what we're looking at.
Can I add one thing on TCW Foundation?
Sure.
Any donation, little to big, is tax deductible.
Yes, it's a 501c3.
3C.
3C or C3. Which one? One of the other.
501c3.
Okay.
Cincy, thank you so much. Steve's Snack Fund. Look at that.
Thank you.
I left it on again.
Yeah, you left it on again.
I just like it. All right. And then I have Black Widow, member for, how come that's so far down? Black Widow, member for 6 months. Thank you for all you do and teach us.
Thank you. Appreciate it. It's an honor. And like I said, I want to be, that's what the YouTube channel originally was created for, was to bring that awareness and share that information of how we look at things and how we analyze.
All right. And we have Joey. Why do you think police did not collect the branches that were on the girls?
I'm hoping that's not the case. And I hope they have recovered them. I did some testing on some branches, and if those branches were handled and at certain key points, there's a possibility that they could be critical. But I hope they do have those. I don't know what the final list of evidence is, and where it will go, but I hope they collected them. If not, uh-oh.
All right. Let's see here. Hold on. I have to remember to get I kind of messed that up earlier. Okay. And Joey, do you think the bullet evidence will be thrown out because police did not find it until after they went back a second time?
Well, and like I said, you hear it on both sides. But no, there's certain ways that regardless of when the round was found, at that point of whoever first obtained that unspent round, and as they turned it over and gave it to law enforcement, the evidence sheet begins at that point and moves forward. We have a dog trying to get in here right now. Yeah.
Tell her.
Huh? Penny. So if y'all hear scratching at the door, it's one of Mrs. Steve's dogs.
Sorry.
But no, I don't think it'll be thrown out regardless, because there will be a chain of evidence and the testing and all of that. I don't think it would be thrown out.
All righty. See, I bet she came in here when she heard me talking. Oops. All right. And Miss Miranda, have you finished the move to Florida? Did you get a new camera? You two look clearer. Oh,
yes. Yes, I have two studios, and rather than take down all the camera stuff at the old studio, we did buy a newer camera and for the mobile. And yes, this is good eye.
Yep, you're good. You're good. All right. And from Molly at True Crime Web, speaking of need for secrecy, Sebastian Rogers case. Ellie did a press conference today to say no updates, essentially. Not sure if you're familiar with the case, but nada from Ellie.
I know very little about that case. Like I said, whenever I'm working, and I'm so far behind right now on some of these cases that I am working for when we work for those, I know a little bit about it. And that might be a case at some point that I will go up and once if it's family or, I may look at it and, if there's anything I can do for that, absolutely. All I have to do is reach out.
Okay. And CJK, that case and Caleb Harris case. Why nothing seen after the brief security camera footages?
Well, I mean, we do live in a world now of all this security cameras, and you would think that as people move throughout, and we saw it in what was Strain case recently up at Nashville,
Raleigh.
And then we also saw it with Sebastian, and then it just disappears. What does that mean? And does law enforcement have other, some information, even if it doesn't show images of a individual? But if you're trying to track someone and they are moving in a certain direction and you have a clear view, you may catch them on the camera. But if you have a great view of a security camera and you don't catch someone, that means they didn't go that way. They went a different route. And so even with the non-information or negative information of seeing someone, it could put you in another direction of possible movement of why he wasn't seen and which direction he's heading.
All right. And 834. And Mustang, Mr. Steve, did you ever use lights and sirens to get to the Waffle House?
There was time, well, not to eat, but now
Boy, are there stories about the Waffle House.
But going to fights, yes, but not to eat. Now, but yes, Waffle House in Georgia. Actually, I guess you could probably, if you just typed in Waffle House fights in Georgia, you would probably get a pretty good dose of understanding of the potential of what happens at Waffle Houses. Absolutely amazing. From armed robberies to shootings to every imaginable type of fight that you can think of. It's just not Waffle Houses, but late at night, when the other restaurants that serve coffee and eggs and waffles are no longer available, then of course everybody just goes there before they head home and start their next generation of fights.
All right, and from Joey, Steve, are you friends with profiler John Kelly? If so, what do you think of his work?
I'm not friends with him, but I'm an admirer of his work. He has an interesting, now as far as his profiling and his background is different than what the law enforcement perspective of the profilers I work with. Although his understanding of and his qualifications, absolutely amazing. His opinions, I highly value. I find nothing that I dislike about John Kelly. So hats off to him. He had a life story that is special and should be shared. And he's written a book about it, and absolutely amazing where he was to where he is now. And so, like I said, I admire the man.
All right. And from CJK, didn't Hennessy say there was a casing or something at Allen's home matching the unspent shell casing found at the scene? Someone mentioned that earlier today.
There's, if they recovered his firearm, and there are any rounds in the magazine or any other rounds that had been cycled previously to law enforcement seizing the firearm during the search warrant, and then they taking some test ammo, unspent round, and cycling it to get there, because they would analyze all the unspent rounds at the residence and analyze them to see if they had been cycled through that firearm for the fact that that's critical evidence. And if they find that it is something that he often did, because even on my ammo, whenever I clean that gun or when I store one of my firearms that I use for personal protection, that there's a cleaning process. When I cycle that round, I just don't go out and shoot that round. I cycle it, I'll reload it. And sometimes it's not the top round in the magazine. It could be number 4 or 5 down through that magazine. And so law enforcement would look at that. And so there's a possibility that either in the magazine or in the box of shells located at Allen's house, that they may have found other rounds that had been cycled through that gun, and they would analyze those and compare them to the one that was found at the scene. So I would expect that there will be some discussion on that by a lot of people.
All right. And Molly, 2 women went missing in Oklahoma Panhandle going to Kansas, very rural area. car left on side of the road. OSBI is investigating, but so is Navajo LE calls on tribal land. Who's in charge?
Oh, I'm sure there's federal laws on that, but I was traveling to pick up a prisoner one time out in California, and we were going across some tribal lands, and we stopped to eat, and then there was a newspaper box. So that tells you how long ago this was. And the headline was Tribal Chiefs Decide to release or turn over a person of interest to federal agents. And so that tells you the power of the tribal lands and the tribal chiefs of when it comes to uh, the law enforcement authority on those properties. Now, that may have changed over the years. I don't know specifically on this case, but I know that when you look at some of those tribal lands, they hold a large and have a huge authority when it comes to what happens on their lands.
This is a good one. From Molly. You need to do a Saturday night, late night members live where you take a vlogging camera to various Waffle Houses and show us the shenanigans.
And y'all can help me make bond. because someone at the Waffle House will throw coffee on my
your vlogging
camera.
I'd have to go back to the store, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. And Peyton Place, Mr. and Mrs. Steve, 2 studios, High Cotton. Just donated $10 on PayPal. The link works. Blue light me, please. Oh, thank you.
Thank you. That's very kind of you. We appreciate your support.
And I've enjoyed the blue light. Thank y'all so much.
Yes. I made her a special blue light.
Oh, yeah. It's nice. All right. Let's see here. I have to go back up here, grab this. Let's see here. Ruckus is in there.
Oh, hello. How you doing?
Here we go. And from Ruckus, relating to cell tower pings and geofencing. Have you ever seen a case where someone standing in the shadow of a cell tower that couldn't get a signal asking for a friend? Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
You got me.
Yeah. Ruckus owns a lot of those dial-up rotary phones that you can't use in the shadow of a cell tower.
I got you.
And wanting to know if I wanted to use his equipment.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's see here. And is she? Hey, Steve, how hard is it to become a registered search and rescue?
I don't know if, I know you have a lot of these organizations out there. And I don't know if there's a national registry for it. Now, a lot of your sheriff's departments and local fire departments, they'll have search and rescue teams, and they'll go out and they'll have citizen academies where you can become part of that and train and understand some of their techniques from tracking to developing search plans and how to disperse and distribute whatever personnel you have. So I would go that route first. There may be some organizations out there and some magazines and YouTube sites of where they discuss, but as far as a clearinghouse of just register search and rescue, it may be out there. I don't know. But I know that in a lot of the searches and rescues that I was involved in my career, there was often times that we would ask the public to assist, and it's changed over the years. Now you have a lot of these organizations that travel the country and work these cases, and which is a huge benefit.
All right, let's see here. I don't know if you can answer this one. What serial killer cases have you worked on in the years you spent in law enforcement? Can you talk about that or no?
have I talked to people that I consider serial offenders? Yes. Have I worked a known serial offender? I worked a case where I think two of the victims, I know two of the victims are related to an individual that has other deaths, or he was the last person to see them in their last moments. And so, but as far as a recognized serial offender, no, I don't have any of that.
You're going to talk to
Hey, Penny,
her.
we'll be there in a minute. She weighs 4 pounds and makes as much noise as 80-pound dog.
Molly at True Crime Web. Yes, a previous ex-wife in Sebastian's case is Navajo and moved to Navajo land. Talked about how they have their own justice system and their land is its own country. Very interesting.
It is, like I said, that they have a huge authority.
They do their own thing, huh?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see here. Thanks, Joey, for reminding everybody to hit the like button. We appreciate it.
Appreciate that. Very kind of you.
We sure do. We're trying to get back into the swing of things.
Like I said, we just had that birthday, and I thought, well, might as well go out and talk about what our YouTube are where we came from and where we're heading.
All right, you're done.
All righty, guys. Well, we appreciate everybody being here tonight. We appreciate spending time with us. We appreciate the support and where we're heading this year. I've got to got some more work. I got to reach out to several families this week and some institutions and things. But without y'all's support, we couldn't do it. And so, absolutely, we're amazed and appreciate everything y'all do for this channel. And but if you have any suggestions, absolutely email me or put it in the comments. And we appreciate it. But y'all stay safe out there. If you like this video, share it, sub, give it a thumbs up. And we thank you guys. And we'll see y'all soon. And Barbara.
One more. Hold on. Barbara Hall, thank you so much.
Thank you, Barbara. And if you don't know about Barbara, she has been fighting for justice for Timmy D's, her son, for many, many years.
And there's a link out there that Molly put.
And there's a link out there for that. And but y'all stay safe out there, and we'll see y'all soon, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye. Love y'all. You'll leave it on that one?
Yeah.